All right, good Friday morning, everybody. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Tim Pandajis here with an update on what has been a very active morning with widespread heavy rain, downpours, and flash flooding that is ongoing in a lot of communities, especially west and northwest of downtown Houston. Here's radar. This is a loop over the last 6 hours. You can really see it filling on in as we went on through mid-morning. You see the red boxes and the green boxes there, the polygons. Those are flood advisories and flash flood warnings that are currently in place for areas like Katy and areas out by Brenham as well, as that rain continues to come on down. As you watch the radar presentation in motion here over the last 6 hours, you can see that there is a back edge out west of Brenham. And as this is pushing off towards the east, it's encountering our predominant flow that's coming in off the Gulf of Mexico, a very moist fetch of humid tropical air that's interacting with that boundary, and we're effectively squeezing out the atmosphere. So while we've got all this widespread bright shades on the radar screen indicating heavy rainfall. Earlier we had 2 to 3 inch an hour rainfall rates that has come back a little bit to 1 to 2 inch an hour rainfall rates, but even that's enough with saturated grounds to cause some flooding problems, and we've already seen numerous roadways this morning go underwater. All right, let's focus in on those flash flood warnings right now. We have 2 of them, one that encompasses Katy and surrounding cities and towns. That's up for about another 30 minutes or so until 11 o'clock this morning. And another one near Hempstead along 290 off to the northwest of Hempstead, Cypress. That's up for an extra hour up until lunchtime today, those flash flood warnings. Now, what a flash flood warning is that flash flooding is ongoing or is expected to begin at any moment. There's been that much rainfall surging into the drainage basins, into the creeks and streams and bayous, that those levels rise very quickly and can flood very fast, hence the word flash flooding. Here's a look at radar estimated rainfalls. Now, this has been impressive all morning long. We're looking at here the last 6 hours, and some spots have picked up over a foot. And a lot of times this is a little bit of a conservative estimate. Some of these ground readings and ground observations could certainly be an inch, inch and a half higher than what you're seeing here on the radar estimates, but it's widespread out in that area by Hempstead that is under that flash flood warning. Now let's drop down to the Katy area along 10, which is still under that flash flood warning until 11 o'clock, and just south of there, including Richmond, that's a flood advisory until 12:30. Check out some of the radar estimates on this one. Not as high, but still some spots, half a foot of rain. That's an inch an hour rainfall rates for 6 hours just south of Katy, 4.5 inches, 5.5 north of Foster, Pecan Grove, Richmond area, just under 4 inches of rainfall so far in the last 6 hours or so. The bigger picture, there's a lot more rain to go here. We've got several flash flood warnings, flood advisories up, and down to the south, you can see it building north. There are some embedded thunderstorms in here as well, nothing strong or severe. It's really the main concern is going to be the flooding and the inundation of area roadways, thanks to the amount of rainfall over a short amount of time. And these are relatively slow moving. They're not standing still, they're not stagnant, but they are moving at a slow pace, which is dropping so much rainfall. And of course, that interaction of the boundaries is squeezing out the atmosphere like a wet sponge, and that's what we're seeing kind of play out in front of us here. Now, when will the rain come to an end? That's the big question on everybody's mind. Well, not for several more hours. We've got that line approaching the back end that's now well west of Houston. That'll slowly push its way eastward through the lunch hour. Here we are at 1:30. You see that band of heaviest rain, even though it's still building out of the south, has pushed a little farther to the east on the east side, giving the west end a little bit of a break after several hours of heavy rain. And by later on this afternoon into the first part of the evening hours, I think we're finally quieting things down, probably a little bit sooner than that as well. Overnight should be quiet, but then our same scenario looks to play out on Saturday. We'll have some pre-dawn showers and thunderstorms, and those will become a little more widespread as we head into the afternoon. I don't think it'll be as widespread or as heavy as what we're seeing today, but the risk is there, around a 50-50 chance of encountering those showers and downpours, and then things quiet down into Sunday, because that's when things start to change for the better for us. We're going to have a weak cold front dropping in from the north Sunday night. That will bring with it a few more showers, but nothing huge, and that'll change our weather pattern overall. The flash flooding risk for today, we're at that level 2 threat out of a 4-level system. We're already seeing it out there. Tomorrow looks a whole lot better, seeing that level 1 threat well to the north of the city. So rainfall chances as we go forward, 50-50 shot on Saturday, a little bit lower on Sunday. Most of this rain will be in the morning hours as that weak cold front drops on in. Once it clears the area, we'll rapidly clear out our skies, and that's going to mean beautiful weather coming our way on Monday and Tuesday. Not so much in the way of cooler temperatures, but the humidity will really drop off, and that's something to look forward to. So here's a good way to look at it with the humidity and the amount of moisture in the air that we're dealing with right now. It's called PWATS, precipitable water values. When you see the shades of orange here, that's precipitable water values, which basically is taking a column of air from the surface all the way up to around 34,000 feet, compressing it down and squeezing out all the moisture in it. When we see readings like this, you're getting 2.5 inch water values in that column of air. So you squeeze out that entire column, you get 2.5 inches of water. We've got that overhead right now. It's an extremely moist tropical air mass. But look how things change as we head on through the weekend. Certainly by Sunday, you see all that blue shading? That's very dry, very low PWATS, and those are dropping into our area along that weak front, and that's going to mean very comfortable conditions for us here in southeast Texas. That will last for a couple days. Starting Sunday, we see that drop into the 60s, and then we get those dew points in the 50s like we enjoyed last week for several days. I think we're going to do it again and get some of those overnight lows to get into the upper 50s and low 60s. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, a wet day today. Parts of the area will be wet again tomorrow. A few more showers on Sunday, and then after that, we have a stretch of really nice weather beginning Monday and lasting for the majority of next week, at least through next Thursday. We're going to be live on air coming up at noon. You can join us then for any updated radar estimates or any forecast changes until then. But until then, we'll see you in about an hour and 20 minutes at noon.